And right now, Barangay Ginebra is trying to claw their way back into this. Castro against Thompson. Jason still with it, pulls the trigger, the jumper short. Another stop for Barangay Ginebra. This could power a comeback bid for them. But they need to act quick. Holt to Thompson. Scotty, very quiet here in the second half. Ahan Misi attacks towards his left, turns towards his right and converts. So from a 20-point disadvantage down to a 14-point lead for TNT. And they still have a lot of time remaining on the clock. Talking about Barangay Ginebra. 5 minutes and 40 remaining. This is not a done deal yet for the Tropang Giga. Hollis Jefferson pulls the trigger. Oh, that will be goaltending. And Stephen Holt bothered the rim.
Those are like the breaks of the game, Carlo. There's little mistakes.
Did this have a shot at going in? Oh, that's close. But what that did for Stephen Holt was deliver the basket for Rondy Hollis Jefferson. It has not been a great offensive performance for Hollis Jefferson, but you're not even looking at his scoring right now. He has affected this game in multiple levels.
A lot of intangibles, a lot of intimidation, most especially.
Oh, look at that, another block. And Stephen Holt finally converts from deep.
They needed that. Definitely, that's going to be a good boost there for Holt to get his confidence and his shots to fall.
91-77. This is still possible, but TNT doing enough to stay comfortable. Tough jumper, no good. Rebound picked up by Ralph Koo. Forward pass to Stephen Holt. He's on the attack. Quick crossover. Oh, he blows the layup. Everything but the basket for Stephen Holt. And that could have gotten them within 12. Cobuntin open. Big shot from Glenn for three.
Carlo, it will be very difficult for Barangay Ginebra in a situation. There's just so many players from TNT. Their bench players have been also producing.
But how painful was that miss coming from Stephen Holt? It turns out to be a 5-point swing on the other side from down 12. Now looking at a 17-point disadvantage as Ralph Koo scores inside.
Well, Carlo, it's been the story of the game because, you know, we all know that Ginebra shoots at a very high field goal percentage. You know, the shots that they would really make even in the San Miguel series, it's not falling for them today.
RHJ picks it out off Tana. Calvin has been effective in attacking and he stays aggressive. Scoring that short stab to extend their lead back up to 17.
Just way too many scorers on the part of TNT.
That's a foul drawn by Justin Brown D.
Been seeing a lot of, you know, great defensive effort. And definitely, you know, that's the kind of game that TNT really has been known for.
Timeout for Barangay Ginebra as they find themselves down by 17, 96-7.
Finally, no? Finally, nakaabot din ako, nakatungtong din ako sa PBA Finals. Ang tagal ko rin pinangarap to, 7 years. Imagine mo, 7 years akong nag-antay para tungtong dito sa PBA. So, sa PBA Finals, another challenge, another...
Itself, as he has been tremendous in his PBA Finals debut. And it's not just the scoring, it's just the overall control that he's had. You know, 16, 9, and 7. Multiple aspects of the game, he has chipped in positively for Coach Sean Reyes.
It's his decision-making and his composure that, for me, was really impressive, considering that this is his first time to be in the finals.
Milking the clock once again is TNT as they're protecting a 15-point lead. Barangay Ginebra still playing small here. Castro outside shot, won't work. Thompson with the rebound. Ginebra has to rush. Brownlee steps into a long shot. It's been that kind of night for JB as he's found open shots few and far between.
Yeah, that's really, the story of the game. This is something that Ginebra has to recover. Their outside shooting, their perimeter game, and that's what's really lacking in this game, number one.
Oftana on the attack once again. If the three-point shot is not falling, keep pounding the ball inside. Thompson, Pesumal, Koo, Brownlee, and Mariano, the five for Coach Timpone. And Scotty Thompson hits the three-point shot, but that will come when it's already a done deal. It's looking like for TNT, as they're still up by 14. Now, in those moments, late in the third quarter, early in the fourth, you would have hoped that Scotty Thompson became a little bit more selfish, took matters into his own hands, and lead the scoring for Barangay Ginebra.
Well, the problem with that, Carlo, that's not Ginebra's game. The reason why Ginebra's here is because they've been excellent on assists. They've been excellent on their field goal shooting. I felt, I would give TNT the credit for, disrupting a lot of, offensive sets by Barangay Ginebra. But then, if you shoot like this against a good defensive team, it's really going to be very difficult. I mean, it will really expose a lot of problems, most especially if you can even hit those open layups, just like what we've seen with Holt.
Hollis Jefferson finally gets his rest here in this ball game. As for the final 2 minutes of this matchup, both imports resting now as TNT on their way to winning game number 1 in a best-of-7 series. Winning game 1 means that you will force the other side to make the adjustments, and that is a big advantage for Coach Chatres. Because for Barangay Ginebra, that's basically how they won the series against SMB. They won, SMB adjusted, they won. Barangay Ginebra took the lead back, SMB made further adjustments, they leveled. But then Barangay Ginebra closed it out with strong efforts in Game 5 and Game 6. They will now have a lot of work to do to make sure that TNT will not get back-to-back wins to open this final series.
Well, they have to figure out how to get, how they can get Justin Brownlee open looks, because a lot of the shots by Brownlee, it has always been challenged. There was no open look, there was no wide open jump shots that we've seen, even with Scotty Thompson, even with Stephen Holt.
You have to give credit to R.R. Pogoy.
Oh, yes.
For the initial defense, which was spectacular. And then Glenn Cabuntin came in when they needed to. Rondy Hollis Jefferson was there to cover Justin Brownlee. And JB still got going. Of course, he will still get his points, but he had to work extra hard to get those numbers.
Yes, it's going to be very important in game number 2 that, number 1, they have to find a way to get players open. And perhaps even if they don't hit those outside shots right away, but they can also hit a couple of those perimeter jumpers, at least to be a threat. Because that's one way that you can force other people to be open once you start hitting some baskets. And number 2, Carlo, yes, the credit always goes to TNT when it comes to defense because of the stats. But then, you know how Ginebra also plays defense, because one way that they were able to recover in this Governor's Cup, most especially, they didn't really have a good start because of all the injuries happening to the players and all the adjustments. But then, once they won that game because Stephen Holt started playing great defense and the rest of the team, it became easy. The energy of the team, your offense becomes a lot more easier because you know that you can get things out of your defense.
Brian Arruela makes a basket here at the tail end of game 1, but the key number here is 86 points on the board for Barangay Ginebra.
Exactly.
Their average here in this season, in this conference, 106.5. That is 20 points below par.
That's a lot.
And that is how well TNT read them defensively. Of course, you have to understand that TNT had a couple of extra days as a break to prepare for what would be a finals rematch against Barangay Ginebra. Now the pressure shifts